The formation of the first multicellular organisms has led to nearly every living thing on this planet. Hydrothermal vents that spouted energy and chemicals from underneath the crust likely introduced the right chemicals and elements for life to form, but creatures with more than one cell cannot be explained by this. To get the basics of how and why they formed, we first need to crudely define eukaryotes and prokaryotes. A prokaryote lacks membrane-bound organelle, for example a mitochondria or nucleus, and has free-floating DNA. A eukaryote, on the other hand, has a nucleus with the DNA held and partially processed inside. The symbiotic evolution of bacteria and archaea, chemosynthetic bacteria composing of the mitochondria, was the first big step towards multicellular organisms. Now, there are two main hypotheses as to how multicellular life evolved, which must be established. First, under the prospect of mutation-focused evolution, unicellular organisms with one or more extra nuclei may have let the nuclei mutate to develop a membrane of its own, making it its own cell. By the same basic idea, a cell may have caught a daughter cell in itself when creating it, and the organism survived to self-replicate. An incorrect cytokinesis, the division of cells, could have caused identical or different cells which must have changed their stems to accommodate for the other cell. There's also a symbiotic theory which states that different animals with a mutually beneficial relationship, known as symbiosis, joined their DNA and converged. Similar to this idea, German biologist Ernst Haeckel theorized that organisms from the same species became dependent on each other to the point that they came together. It has been shown that simple eukaryotes, when put together in harsh environments, have formed protist colonies to find energy and continue mitosis, although they are considered pluricellular, not multicellular. Now that these theories have been established, let's talk about why they are plausible despite the dominance of thriving unicellular organisms. Even though cellular groups are usually created so that they can maximize an oxygen collection or acid production, studies have found that freeloading cells capitalized without giving back, and cancerous cells killed entire creatures. So why didn't organisms with multiple cells disappear? An organism could have stayed multicellular by forcing mutual dependence, and the ways by which dependence was ensured were called ratcheting mechanisms. A prime example of this is the PSEUDOMONAS fluorescence, which creates sheets of cells that absorb oxygen more efficiently, incentivizing cells to work. Organisms could also benefit from things that loners would hate to experience. Apoptosis, the suicide of a cell, allows multicellular structures to break off and reproduce, whereas a single-celled organism would just die, without any species continuation. Finally, the means by which multicellular animals survived in the long run was the production of collagen, an important cell-binding protein that is best known for making tissue. Tissue which can vastly increase cell productivity by focusing on specific tasks, just as our epithelial tissue that lines organs aims to absorb and secrete substances. With the early production of collagen, multicellularity had locked itself in a winning position by making sure that A, cells needed each other, and B, work benefited the entire creature. Symbiotic theory likely involves the idea that more acids and proteins could be created, therefore bettering an organism's efficiency. And mutation-based theories build off the idea that two cells make more than one. The organismic effectiveness that multicellularity offered has led the world to where we are today.